Good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to talk about why agents fail. And it's not the only reason agents fail, but we've got to go through a couple of things that agents do that inhibit them from success. So I think this will be a good one of those kind of eye-opener webinars that we do on occasion. So get your notes out, and I think this will be a good one. But before we get into today's presentation, I'm going to bring on Bill Seitz, our corporate broker. Bill, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, everybody.
All right.
We're doing all right.
All right, perfect. And I apologize. Today I've got a little bit of construction going on over here, so probably a little bit of background noise today. So apologize for that in advance. And we have a lot of new agents on the line today, which is really, really cool. Welcome all of you. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We do this every Wednesday. We'd like to talk about some facet of marketing or anything real estate related. Really, the topics kind of vary, but we also normally bring on Cameron Alley from Clearview Mortgage. Clearview is our in-house lending arm at Alta Realty Group. And so let me bring Cameron on the line as well. Cameron, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. I'm doing great. And welcome everyone that's new.
Absolutely. It's great to see all the new guys on here. And of course, we have all of our regulars. We have Ann Harris, Anthony Perry, Catherine Ferozzi, Don Kearney, Eugene Prince, Jennifer and John Espinosa, Justin McBride, all the regulars, Randy Johnson, Rhonda Butler, Tracy Fetter. So really great to see every one of our regulars as well. Yeah, so Cameron, what's going on out there in mortgage land today? Bring us up to speed.
It says disabled participant from screen saving. Could you change that real quick? And then
I suppose I could do that for you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm a little behind the gun today, but go for it. You should. All right,
guys. Perfect.
Clear.
All right. So do have a little update for you today. We're going to talk about a few themes. First, as always, I wanted to go over the 10-year treasury today. So we're sitting at 3.58. And for all the new agents that are on here, if you do not know this, you can always watch the 10-year treasury, and it kind of tells you where mortgage rates are that specific day. So right now we're sitting at 3.585. So as I did say a couple weeks ago, remember when we were at the top here, you kind of look at the patterns or what's going on, and you kind of know usually where the treasury is going to end up going. So we are back down, but it did come up a little bit the last couple days, back up to the 3.5 3.6 region. We were down to about 3.4, but there's always little corrections. When it tends to go down quite a bit, it comes up a little bit. When it tends to go up quite a bit, it usually comes down a little bit. So but right now we're sitting here, so we're about, for conventional loans, right around that 6% range. For FHA loans, we're about 5.8, 5.7 range. So rates have improved quite dramatically. So that is really good news. And today there is a Fed meeting that will be taking place at 11:30 our time, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So what the Fed is expected to today is raise rates by another 50 basis points. That is an increase from the 25 basis points that they did last time, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. So I will be watching that quite closely at 11:30 and see what happens here. But I do expect if they do keep raising rates like this, that we're going to continue to see some turbulence in the stock market. And honestly, I think that the higher that they end up taking rates, the lower that mortgage rates are going to go pretty quickly. Because the way that it works, as I always explain, is with economic turmoil, which raising rates this much obviously does cause some economic harm. Usually people go and buy bonds, and that brings down mortgage rates. So as I've explained many times, they're not directly connected. So sometimes when bonds go down, and even if your rates are high for your credit cards or anything like that, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with mortgage rates. So I'll keep my eye on that, and I'm sure next week I'll have an update for you guys. But obviously they keep on doing this because they want to curb inflation, but inflation has not seemed to go down. So we'll see what happens. And they'll keep us guessing for now. But I did also want to kind of explain something that I've been seeing, and as far as the real estate market and everything of what's going on, is what I would say is anyone that you have that is qualified right now, even if they're scared of what the payment is, still buy now and refinance later. That has to be the mindset, because I think everybody knows what's going to happen when rates go down, and they will go down. They already have gone down, but when they go down significantly, demand, basically all these people are going to get priced back in, right? Demand is still extremely, extremely high. People want to buy houses because there's not enough places to live in California, right? But when rates go back down, instantly what's going to happen is you're going to have 12 offers on every single property like it was before, maybe even more than that, depending on what area you're in. Housing values will shoot right back up, because the reason why they went up last time is because people were offering way over asking price for these homes, right? So the strategy should still be buy now, refinance later. And that's why last week I talked about FHA loans, and I wanted to touch a little bit more on that today real quick. The reason why FHA loans are so great right now is really for two reasons. One, the MI is exactly the same as it used to be, as it is on conventional loans right now, which used to be not the case. It used to be significantly higher, sometimes $150 to $200 more a month. But mortgage insurance is right aligned with conventional, and you get a better rate. So technically right now the payments on FHA loans are less than they are in conventional loans. And then there's another reason. Reason number two is you can do an FHA streamline. And if you're not familiar with that, basically what that does for your buyers is within 210 days, so that's about 7 months, they're able to take advantage of an FHA streamline refinance. I can almost guarantee in 7 months rates are going to be lower than they are now. So basically what that does is it lets them take advantage of a refinance, but the difference is there's no appraisal requirements, there's no income requirements. All you need to do this refinance, if you are in an FHA loan, is a mortgage statement, proof of insurance, driver's license, an application, and proof that you made all your payments on time for that first 6 months of payments, right? So it takes 7 business days to close them, and it's just a way to basically get, you know, your buyer into a better rate very quickly. So that's one of the reasons why I would suggest FHA loans, and obviously I would still suggest making sure that that if you have someone that's qualified and they can buy and they have, you know, money to put down, get them into a house, because in a year rates are going to be a lot better and it's going to be back to some craziness. So there's a lot of deals I think to be made out there right now. It's just getting them comfortable with the payment, which I can help do, obviously, because I can kind of explain in a different broad of terms how, you know, what the strategy is and how that would work. But just wanted to kind of touch on that today. And then shout out to Rhonda Butler. I think she's on here, but she sent me, I mean, I kind of heard of this before, but she sent us basically this this program that they're calling, man, what are they calling it? Oh, Dream for All. It's basically a new down payment assistance program that CalHEFA is rolling out March 27th. What this is basically what they're doing is giving 20% down in down payment assistance money to first-time home buyers. Basically, there's the catch is that they own 20% of the equity of the home, and when you go to sell the home, you have to give them back the 20% down that they gave you and 20% of your equity, right? What this will end up doing is helping people get into houses that maybe don't have the funds to get them, but we need to do more research on this. Me and Bill are kind of working on this to see, okay, well, what's it look like when they go to refinance rather than to purchase, right? Because somebody who is using down payment assistance and is using a special program like this, sometimes they barely qualify, right? And so we want to see, okay, well, if they're going to get locked into a 6% rate right now and rates go down, can they refinance? Do they have to take money out to pay them back? So we'll kind of look into that and see exactly what the requirements are for that. But these are the income requirements for that program. As you can see here, they look like they're pretty decent, but I also saw some verbiage on some of this that said that it was going off of home ready, home possible numbers, which this is the number right here is the 69,000. So like I said, we'll do a little more research on that. And by next week, we'll have you a solid answer, because obviously if this makes sense and you can take advantage of it and we have a investor that we can do it for, it's going to help you get some deals. So there's $250 million allocated for this program right now in the state of California. So that's not a crazy amount of money, but maybe if it works, they'll put more money that way to help people get into homes. But we'll keep you posted next week. We'll have a better update for you. Hopefully some more information. And that's pretty much all I have today, unless Bill wants to add to that.
I will just tag a couple things, Cameron, as always. Very informative. We got a stat, which I thought was very interesting, because we do a weekly, usually a weekly meeting on our mortgage with our primary investor that we work with, United Wholesale. And, as Cameron mentioned, as far as like advising your clients, now is a great opportunity to purchase. And I think everyone's kind of had a little bit of payment shock if they're trying to qualify now and versus what it looked like a few years ago or even 12, 16 months ago. But the stat was, and Cameron, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm not. 90% of home buyers that are qualifying, that are in the market to get pre-approved, still qualify, even with the higher interest rates. So, we've really only lost a very small pool of the overall buyers in the marketplace. So basically 9 out of 10 people that are still interested in buying homes can still qualify with the higher interest rates. So, that statistic was really profound for me when I heard that, because that means that, we can get transactions done, we can get buyers into homes, and it shouldn't be discouraging that the rates are higher for the moment, or that we think the perception is that people can't afford homes. Well, the reality and the stats show that they can. And so that's just a great kind of reminder to everybody that we're not swimming upstream as hard as we think we are. So just something to keep in mind. Also, I'm just going to plug Cameron here. Kevin, if you can put Cameron's information up on the screen for our new agents who just maybe don't know, aren't familiar with Cameron or Clearview Mortgage. I want to thank all the agents that have got pre-approvals with Cameron. As you can tell, he's a very sharp man. He's very in tune with finance and knows this stuff inside and out, and he's a great resource for you. So he picks up his phone, he calls you back weekends, evenings. So if you don't have a go-to, this is your guy. So Kevin, take it away.
Hey, Bill, real quick, can I
go ahead, Cameron.
Can I add to that? Sorry. So
Obvious.
what Bill was saying, I just wanted to kind of add to this real quick. Take me just a second. But basically, so what are you saying? 90% of the people can still qualify, right? That's another reason why the FHA loans are so great right now, because let's say that someone is barely qualifying and they're looking at doing a conventional loan and putting 10% of that 10% down. Let's just say that's an example. They want to put 10% down. Well, they'd still be paying MI, right? And they have all this extra money that they could use to maybe pay off a car or something and put 3.5% down and get FHA. So because the FHA loans are so good right now, which is not how it used to be, we can put less money down and allocate more of those funds to pay off other debt. So even people that maybe couldn't qualify before, they can qualify with the way that FHA programs are right now. So, we can pay off car, we can pay off credit cards, we can do whatever. That's going to lower their monthly liabilities. Now they don't have that car payment, and that mortgage payment's a little bit easier for them to make, right? And then the FHA loan, they have a little bit better rate. The mortgage insurance is the same as the conventional, so their payment ends up being less or the same as if they put 10% down on their home. So all it is getting creative with the funds that they have available and finding a way for it to make sense for them. And obviously too, telling them, hey, you can do a streamlined refinance in 6-7 months if rates go down, and you don't have to worry about your income. You don't have to worry about qualifying again. None of that matters. It's just, hey, send me a mortgage statement, bam, you have a better rate. So that's basically just what I want to touch on.
Love it.
No, that's spot on, my friend. So yes, do reach out to Cameron and the team at CVM Loans, Clearview Mortgage, and they can help you with all of your questions. I put Cameron's information in the chat, and it's also right here. So no excuse, he has your answers. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Cameron, as usual. And Bill, thank you for your insights. So let's switch gears real quick, and we're going to talk about failure. This is a very, very tough thing to talk about. Nobody wants to fail, but we're just going to go over a few things that typically agents fail at. And so by, shedding a light on it, we're going to maybe avoid some of these pitfalls. So with fewer transactions, and this is an excerpt that I found on Inman. So this is, and it rings true with all the stuff that we talk about pretty much every week. So I really like this article. So that's why I'm kind of highlighting this week, and I'll make sure that I put this in the replay as well. So, yeah, fewer transactions, record number of agents, all that kind of stuff that creates this marketplace where, obviously there's a few agents that are gonna fall by the wayside, and the ones that rise to the top, well, they're the cream, right? So what's a few things that agents typically fail at? Well, I think one of the biggest, this is something we talk about all the time, is they're afraid of the phone. They're not going to pick up the phone. They're not going to, get those real estate related conversations started, right? And so this is a really important thing for agents that are, maybe a little shy. You got to get out of your shell. You got to get out of your comfort zone and stay there. That's a quote from the GoDaddy CEO that I picked up on probably about 12 years ago, and I just love it. Get out of your comfort zone and stay there. So if being on the phone is something that you're not comfortable with, pick up the phone, start calling, start talking. So this is a really cool stat down here. If the average is that 50 real estate related conversations lead to one transaction, well, how long has it been since you've had 50 of these conversations, right? So the success you desire is waiting right on the other side of your phone. I love that. Overcome your fear, increase your conversions or your conversations, right? So, and how do we do that? Well, we add value to others, and we watch how our business grows after that. So we're always trying to add value to our clients, right? So another thing that people generally fail at is, especially newer agents, is they thought it was going to be easy. This is not for our seasoned agents. This is not for, people that have been in the real estate industry for 30 years. It's not easy. You've already been there, But for newer agents, if you think it was going to be easy, well, you've already started, your failure right there. So knowing that it's not easy, this is hard stuff. This is a business. This is not just where you just collect a paycheck or you just collect a commission check for doing nothing. That's what, the perception is. A lot of people think, oh, you real estate agent, you just collect this big check. You don't do anything. Like, yeah, right. So, it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes being the local expert in your market, all those things, so thinking that it's going to be easy, that's a very, very surefire way to fail. And for some of you that are new and finding out that it's not easy, you got to roll up your sleeves and you got to get this stuff done, because there's no gimmies in real estate. You might get lucky. People get lucky. They got an uncle or a relative, and you might get a real estate deal here or there. But, if you actually expect for this to be a business, you have to treat it like a business, So that leads us to number 3. Agents that fail lack discipline with their schedule. So this is something we talk about tons, right? So there's distractions everywhere. We live in a world of mass distractions. It's all distractions, right? So you need to be disciplined and set a schedule. So that's where your CRM is for. That's what, these tools are for that we talk about, is creating that discipline, creating the schedule, knowing that you do outbound prospecting at these different intervals, at these different times each week. It's not a guessing game. It's, exactly what you're doing, so create, and the agents that are successful, they do this 100%. So prospecting, if you're looking to grow your business, there must be a time set aside for prospecting. It sounds stupid when you say it out loud, but it's absolutely true. So this could be, calls to past clients, sphere of influence, leads in your database, or circle prospecting. And it could be anything, but you have to dedicate time for prospecting. Maybe your prospecting is commenting on social media posts, and you have to set aside time to do that if that's what your plan is, right? Appointments are the time that you are nose to nose, toe to toe with a person, and discussing real estate. So this could be your listing appointments, property showings. This could be just a coffee or lunch with past client, someone in your sphere of influence. So if you don't have those appointments and you're not setting those appointments, then there's no business. So focusing on creating appointments, getting out there, talking to people, super important. Skill sharpening. So this is the time that you block to prepare yourself to be the professional your clients deserve. This is where you're researching the homes, for sale in the area, recent sales. You got to know this stuff front and back. So skill sharpening, whatever your skills are, and you all have different skill sets, you have to block out your time to sharpen those skills, study, get yourself to be that agent that is providing value. So the bottom line is, if you don't block out the time for improvement of your skills, your slide to mediocrity is inevitable. So, dark and gloomy, right? But don't fall into these traps, especially when, times are tough. This is when you really got to get tough. You got to get out there and be the better agent. You got to be the person that's picking up the phone, working on your stuff, creating appointments, creating opportunities. So number 4 is they feel entitled. Yuck. You can't feel entitled. You're not entitled to anything. You have to work. You have to get out there and do it. So, anytime you feel entitled to something, it's, another just, clear path to failure. So just because you have your license and you posted a few photos of houses on social media, you're not entitled to anybody's business. You have to be a professional. You have to get out there and market yourself. And, you have to humble yourself in order to increase your professionalism. Number 5 is they think they can do it part-time. Yeah, I know we have a lot of agents that are, trying to kind of do this part-time. And unfortunately, it's still a business, and a business is not a hobby. Agents that are failing now treat it as a side gig or part-time job instead of the level of professionalism buyers and sellers deserve. So, if you're doing it part-time, your client's probably going to know, and they're probably going to, that might not deserve a referral. It might not deserve follow-up business if they know that you're kind of part-time in it, right? So, and I know a lot of agents, they have to start somewhere, and that's okay. But just know that in order to be very successful, you got to put in 40 hours a week. This is not a part-time, just kind of, maybe I'll get a deal. Deals come from hard work, from 50 conversations, from, that was the average that NAR put out there. So let's go ahead and let's not go against the law of averages here. Let's use the law of averages in our favor. And so write them down. I want to see 50 conversations from all of you and see what happens. I guarantee you will create some kind of action. And that's a guarantee. I mean, go and do it. And then if you don't have any business, come back and yell at me. That's totally fair. They're too passive. Number 6, people who wait for the business to come to them, they'll be washed out of the business quickly in the current market environment, right? You can't wait for anything. You got to be, out there making a push. You have to be the person in front of everybody. I love this. Real estate is a contact sport. Everybody should write that down. That's massive. Real estate is a contact sport. That's probably the best thing I've ever seen. So the more contacts you make, the more value add, the more business you'll do. It's a snowball. And again, try it, see what happens. The agents that do this stuff, they get the business. Get back involved with your B&I group. I always talk about making sure that you have a group of professionals that you guys are all sharing information. You're all sharing clients. You got your lawyer, you got, Cameron at Clearview Mortgage, you got, all these different ancillary businesses that are necessary in real estate. You have to have good contractors. You've got to have painters. You got to have stagers. You got to have, all these different professionals, and they all rely on you. You rely on them. Create those groups. If you don't have them, create them. That's what you can do if you don't have business, And so whatever you're going to do something, don't be passive. Real estate is a contact sport. So number 7, they keep looking for the easy button, right? Oh, where's the next shiny object? Where's the next easy money? There's none of that. That doesn't exist, right? It all comes down to hard work. It all comes down to, banging the freaking phone, hitting the pavement, doing the work. It's exhausting, but this is what separates you from the other real estate agent that's doing it part-time. This is your opportunity, to be the agent that your clients need. So this is a cool little deal right here. So I'll just read it. Success in real estate takes time, takes hard work, takes grit. The agents that thrive in this business find 2 to 4 strategies that work for them, and they get to work on those cornerstone strategies for their business. Do you have strategies for your business that work? Well, as long as you work them, your success is inevitable. So really, really important. I hope this has been a good kind of a wake up webinar for some of you. For a lot of you, it's probably just, reinforcement, which is also cool. But I really encourage you guys to take these things to heart and do them. You're going to be successful if you pound and you do all the stuff that we talk about. So Bill, any kind of takeaways from today's failure webinar?
No, it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I'll add to that list though is having a bad attitude. It amazes me, me personally, I've done hundreds of transactions, finance and real estate related over the last 20 plus years. And, coming across people that are just unpleasant to work with. And I think in this business, are you enjoyable to work with? Are you somebody that your clients had a good experience with? Do you show up with a good positive attitude? Do you treat others with respect? Are you the realtor that answers the call and has a grumpy attitude, not helpful, doesn't respond well? Those are all things that are going to keep you from succeeding, because 1, people aren't going to want to work with you. And number 2, you're not going to get repeat business. And it amazes me of how many agents out there don't have good attitudes. And I think it'll take you a long way in this business, and you'll get referrals out of it. If you show your interest, you show that you care, you answer the phone, you're respectful to others, and it's just kind of common sense, but sometimes that gets thrown out the window.
Yeah, no, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And so I appreciate that. Bill, that's a great point. Another reason that an agent might fail, right?
100%, and so showing up with a good attitude is where it all starts. And then all these little but big reminders are great, because, we should be constantly trying to learn and grow and avoid some of these pitfalls.
That's for sure. Yeah, my dad is like the attitude champion. He always said, attitude's everything. So, you go into someone with a bad attitude, you're just starting off, it's not going to work.
You're already done.
You're already done. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Well, I appreciate that, Bill. And agents, thanks a lot for coming on the Wednesday webinar every week. Really is a great way to think about things real estate related, get some good ideas. And that way we all kind of better ourselves, and we can be a better agent to our clients. So get out there, make it a great week, guys, and make it a productive week. And we'll see all of you on the Wednesday webinar next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.